You know, that wind, that cold, it really just made the day downright horrible.
Yeah, it was absolutely dangerously cold out there, but we're starting to get into the worst of it. But here's the exact reason why we're starting to notice this kind of Arctic-like air settling in. What we normally want to have is a strong jet stream. You can kind of see those white arrows there. And as long as it's a strong jet stream, everything stays pretty typical.
They're pointing my way.
Yeah, they continuously move from the west to the east, but whenever it starts to weaken, and it has a lot to do with atmosphere, areas of high pressure, areas of low pressure. But to keep this simple, you start to get a wet jet stream. Think of it as a bridge. It bends, it warps, and that's what the jet stream's doing. And you kind of see here it dips down to the south. That's allowing the air from the North Pole to kind of start to make its way down here. So we get Arctic-like air. Some people say it's like Siberian air across central Illinois. And this is what we're dealing with right now across the area. It's just this deepening, what we're going to call a trough. And I'm actually going to show this in a better way. Let's go ahead and take the graphic here. This is your jet stream. And whenever we talk about this Arctic air, this is what we know as a trough. Keep in mind, a trough always dips down to the south. A ridge, a little bit different. In fact, up here is a ridge. This is where we start to get those extreme temperatures. You think back into December, we saw the opposite of this. We saw 50s, 60s. That would be under a ridge. We're starting to get a trough now, so we get this deep, deep, bitter cold to settle in across central Illinois. And it's going to be like this, and it usually is, for a couple days, if not a few days. In this forecast, we're going to see some improvement, and then it's going to be set back a little bit. But as with right now, we do have a wind chill warning in place across all of central Illinois. There is a wind chill advisory if you're in Clark County. Really, it's just a difference of about 5 to 10 degrees in some cases, depending on the office that you're with. But temperatures, they're already in the single digits. 70 degrees here in Decatur. If you can see it, it's feeling like -12 here in Decatur, -17 in Champaign, almost -25 out in the state capital. And this is why we have that wind chill warning in place right now for much of the viewing area. And it's going to be like this for a couple days. Futurecast feels like temperatures could get as low as about -30 to -35 as we get into tomorrow morning. Keep in mind, it takes a lot longer for the earth to heat up and cool down. And we're going to put quotes around the word heat up because it's not going to happen in this forecast. But we always see our low closer to the morning, about the time you wake up. This time of year, it's close to about 7, even 8 a.m. in some cases. And that's whenever it's going to feel like -30. Unfortunately, a lot of us are going to be heading to church in the morning. You're going to notice as we get in the afternoon, it's only feeling like -15. We're not going to notice feels like temperatures above 0 degrees in a lot of cases until we start to get into middle of this upcoming work week across central Illinois. So again, it's going to be a few days of some rigid, frigid, cold air settling in across central Illinois. The other thing we're battling this evening is road conditions. And it's not because road crews aren't out. No, they are working tirelessly and hard out there across central Illinois, but they are limited. Temperatures dropped so drastically last night and remain below the freezing point today, so that created a hardened, compacted snow on the roadways. At this point, it's not really going to do much if they continue to scramble. They're going to get that little piece. Think about whenever you shovel your driveway and you get to that point where it's so hard that you can only get a little bit off. That's going to be the case as we head into tonight with feels like temperatures as low as about -30. So if you have to be out and about, I don't advise you to be on the roads, especially with the way they are. The less people on the roads, the less accidents we have. But if you have to be out and about, then drive carefully and drive under the speed limit if you need to. We're drying out across central Illinois. That's going to lead to some sunshine in some cases, but I still think we're going to be dealing with mostly cloudy skies as we head into your Sunday. In some cases, that sun's not going to pop out a whole lot. And whenever you factor in that we're still going to be below 0 in some cases for several days, this is your temperature trend over the next 7 days. 3, 7, 9 degrees. Then we're back up into around 20 degrees. This is our average. 33 to 34 degrees. We're still going to be below average for the next 7 days because take a look at this. We get a little bit of a regression as we get into the back end of this work week, even into next weekend. It's a tiny setback, but the hope is as we get into next Sunday and even into the following work week, we get a little bit of improvement widespread across the area. Hopefully a little bit back to normal as that jet stream starts to level out a touch. That's at least the hope and the idea. Tonight, -9 is your low, but feels like temperatures all the way down to -35. And if there's some loose snow near the roadway, there could be some blowing snow, and that's going to limit some of the visibility, not necessarily how far you can see, but just where the lines are on that roadway. And that's really what's dangerous because you don't know if you're starting to kind of drift into the next lane. So that's why I'm saying if you can stay off the roads, they're drivable, but the less people you have on the roads, the better. Starting off around -6 around 8 a.m., only topping out around 3, 4 degrees as we head into tomorrow with some mostly cloudy conditions.